Oh, are we doing Zoom tonight?
Joy is recording the meeting.
Oh,
Who's Joyce? There. On Zoom.
Hello,
who's that?
Joy.
Joy.
Oh, she's attending my Zoom. Okay.
She's recording. What is that other thing? Let's see. Oh, I suppose I'm supposed to say continue.
Oh, yes, yep.
Right.
So,
Okay.
net guest statistics. It says admin computer. And there are two different prices.
I don't know where you are. Are you in a bill?
I'm on, yes.
Okay. I'll have to get to the bills. Here. Let's see what it's.
That would be the office computer we're upgrading. And the other part is one is the monitor and one is the computer.
Interesting, okay. I wondered why there were two different values. Now, do you have a packet?
I don't know if I get one. I did skim what the drop that was sent.
I didn't. There's not a lot of these.
But I think we have.
Okay. Where do you go?
Okay, another question on the Lansingburg electric seems pretty high this month. Is that from air conditioning?
What's that?
Lansingburg electric was $640 this month.
That's electric and gas together.
Bills that date back over time. I don't know. I didn't look at the bill particularly.
Joy, you said something?
Yes, it's combined electric and gas, though. I'm pretty sure that that's how they normally bill us.
But do you think that's high for the summer?
I don't think so. With the using air conditioning and so on.
Yeah, they got 4 air conditioners over there, window air conditioners.
Okay.
So I guess they're drawing some power.
Okay, petty cash?
Hey, Joe, I'm gonna move you over here a little bit.
Great.
Can't hear a thing. Anyway. Now you're right in the middle of the table.
It seemed like a strange value for petty cash, $256.17. Was that, to cover something in particular?
Petty cash is usually used when people need to buy supplies and so on. It's receipts through a certain amount. So I believe the last time we asked for petty cash was, I can't remember offhand, but it might have been like maybe three months ago.
That's okay. Then it just seemed like a strange amount for just, I don't know.
Yeah, those are receipts that we used. So whatever receipts come in, the total, that's what I use to request for.
It's usually a strange amount because she just evens it out to whatever we need at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you have questions?
Nope, I'll wait for you to finish, and you're hitting all of mine so far, so.
The Quackenbush and Hagel air conditioning maintenance, that seemed like a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's both places.
Both places, so both visits to both places, okay.
Yeah, they go around both locations and check them, filter change, whatever else they need.
Okay. I was curious what the legal bill is for.
Yes, that is for, we had a complaint from a patron that had some racial overtones, so I needed to discuss that with the attorney in terms of how to proceed.
Okay, so that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Those are all of mine.
You hit all of mine.
Okay. Evelyn?
No other ones, nope, thanks.
Okay. I see the total is $120,944.84.
Yeah, part of that, of course, is a big payment to Messicone
And Debrino,
and Debrino.
yes.
Oh, yeah, 53 to Debrino and 25 to, so yeah,
Yeah, it was noticeably higher than the previous month.
yeah, much
Um,
higher.
So shall we recommend to the board that these be approved?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So
KeyBank,
much for that.
That was in what we just approved. so.
right, but I just wondered whether anybody had any questions on the specific bills. And thanks, thanks for pointing that out. I think you were the one who pointed out previously that we actually approved these things.
Sorry.
No, that's good, and I appreciated that. So, I just wondered whether there was any question about anything on the. Okay. Anything else as far as the income statement that a reconciliation or balance sheet? I had a couple of questions on the reconciliations. I just have to reconcile my notes with the.
Oh, we're not on this then? No. Okay.
So on the reconciliations, on operating, we got an added 271,000. Did that come from the reserve? So here, there was an addition of 271,453 on the first page. And I just wondered what the source of that was.
Is that the tax levy? I don't know. Joy, is that the tax levy on the
Yes, that's the tax levy.
reconciliation? It says 271,000.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes,
that's partial.
partial, yep.
Okay. Yeah, we got the larger payment, mid-year payment.
And on the investment, there was an add of 90,000.
Yeah, that's a check from Dasney
Oh, nice.
as the first payment. There will be another one from Dasney as soon as that bill is approved and cashed. Because they want a proof of a cash check. We still haven't had reimbursement from SHPO, even though we contacted them again. And it's
SHPO for,
the Messicone and Wilson and Baker thing.
that's a consolidated funding application. Does that come
Yeah,
through
the historic
SHPO?
structures report.
Right, does that come through SHPO?
Yeah. Yeah, you go through your agency with that
Oh, that's right.
consolidated funding thing.
Dominique, what is her name?
Danielle.
Danielle is,
But everybody there, part of the problem is everybody's working from home. Nobody's there. And it's slowing down everything. And then all of New York State is not there. Except for Dasney. Dasney's there.
okay, so one final question, operating reserve. There was a transfer to operating reserve of 200,000.
Let's see.
What page, other pages aren't numbered? It's the explanation of the investment.
Yeah, that's,
Is that tax levy?
Yes, that's the tax levy.
right.
Yeah, I saw that on the income statement, there was about 400,000 for the past month. Anything else on the reconciliations? Okay. How about questions on the income statement? I see under revenue that you see the tax levy, 408,000,
Yeah,
having come in the past month.
yes, that's the second larger payment. Although there should be another 100 and some odd thousand for the rest of the
During the
year.
rest of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I looked when I went through this originally, and it seemed to be fairly on target, I believe,
yeah, yeah,
for what we would expect.
yeah.
And also we have the little bit of past years too,
Mm-hmm.
which is included in our projection.
If you noticed, LLSA, the local library services aid, they actually, 4,000 or so of that was from last year's payment. That's why that's higher. Because we only budget about 15,000 for that. And we got a grant. It's in fundraising. Joey, that's in fundraising. Why is that in fundraising? Yeah.
The which one, Grant?
The PPE,
I just thought maybe since it's a miscellaneous, that's where it goes, but I can move it if you need me to.
I see. Anyway, that's about the 3,000 something? Yeah.
So
The PPE one was like 1,000 something.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Why did I think, anyway, okay. That came through some money that came to Upper Hudson that then is distributed to all the members. You know, supposed to be based on what you actually spent, but they never requested a report, which we do have.
and we don't have to pay it back.
No.
There wasn't a report, but they pretty much know what was spent through them, so.
What's that?
They may not have asked for a report, but they pretty much knew what each library had spent.
Well, I
through them.
guess, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's what they were basing on. according to
probably
our
based
meeting.
on population and they just divided it up somehow.
Okay. No other questions on revenue? How about expenses? So I saw that salaries were a little higher than expected. Is that because this was a three pay period month?
Yes, it will be a 3
Yeah,
period.
right, although actual is 528, 584, was budget is 542.
On salaries, I'm seeing 89,000 this month.
Oh, this month.
Yeah,
Oh, I just,
you were looking, yeah.
I go by the
I see
year.
where you were looking.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's sometimes there's a 3 pay period. We also had people leave and we pay the vacation pay.
Ah,
So, and a lot of people, that's another thing. I mean, during this pandemic, people accumulated their vacation because there wasn't any place to go.
mhm.
So when people then left, like Lou, he had a lot of vacation time.
I did under facilities, the gas and electric. We've expended 24,000, close to 25, and the budget was 20,000. So quite a bit over.
Yeah, we're over that. But again, we pay as you go. So that slows down for right through the fall, basically, until you see it start up again. You won't see it start up again, till later, like December, because, there's a delay of 30 days and that kind of thing. So I'm still hopeful. It's been difficult to budget that.
Yes. So our current month expenses are very similar to what the budget says for the overall expense total.
Yeah, not too bad.
Until you get to the year-to-date actual versus the year-to-date budget.
Yeah, I mean, months can vary a lot more. I mean, that's why I keep, my main focus is on the year.
Right, but that's what I'm looking at, and
Yeah.
it says that the expenses will, are almost 400,000 over what's expected.
That's because we had the big
The
bills,
construction
capital bills.
Anything else on the income statement? Yes,
It's not on any of our paperwork, but I do have some information. If this is an okay time to share it.
yeah, because we have some time left.
This is for you too. I'm gonna take this down so you can hear it. I'm not gonna shout. I made some calls and inquired about the dollar amount that our tax levy would probably incur to the average homeowner.
Mhm.
And the average, I call it value, but maybe not using the right term, assessment is still at 150,000. And the amount would be $2, the expected amount would be $2.98. It's about $3, which is the price of the Dunkin'
if you
Donut
got-
coffee right now, medium.
If you got, see, that's the thing. The averages are gonna include a lot of these real estate holdings. So if we get the report of what everybody pays every time they pay, there's not very many, certainly over $75. And most of them range more like $50. So if it's $50, that's $1.34. Anyway.
I did some research also. And I Googled it, and it indicated that the average house price in Troy was 200,000.
What?
Is that the price or is that the assessed amount?
Medium range.
So usually the assessed amount is,
No,
for
this
the
is
tax assessor is
Google.
lower.
Right, this is not what the tax
Okay.
assessor says.
like the median.
And also when you refer to an average, you never know whether it's,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily know whether it's the mean or the median, which can make a difference.
Well, but that's the average price. Yeah, I mean, when you Google, say, what's the average price in Dallas, Texas, they'll say, okay, it's 400,000, That's not the assessed.
Right.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
And when I called the assessor, they said that was 150,000.
Mhm.
But when I've mentioned that recently, people questioned that was low. They thought that amount was low considering the prices. Now,
That's-
again, I don't know whether medians or means are being utilized, And that can make a difference. And also you don't know whether the assessed price is caught up with the going rate and everything. But I figured on 160,000, it was about $2.50
I didn't
that
do,
somebody would pay.
I didn't do the calculations, as you know. I should never do those calculations. I asked about it. And let's just say our resource is still using 150.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
was told too.
And that's a number that,
And
Well, the bottom line is hardly anybody would pay more than a cup of coffee, more.
that's about what it is.
Yeah.
I spent $3 on a,
I
the special.
Yeah.
But,
But- aren't you concerned that the first thing people are going to see when they go to look at what we're saying about how much the taxes are going to increase is that it's 4 point something or other? You know,
But that's
close-
that's
close to
not what the taxes are predicted to
Right, but
increase.
the first thing they see, the
Yeah.
thing they're going to react to,
And that's why I
Is it-
said on
Yeah.
the website, exactly after that, that it's estimated to be 2.68% for the average, for taxpayers.
but here's,
So you take whatever you paid last year and you multiply by 2.8%,
Okay.
2.68%.
on that note about what you take next year, so I started talking to some people about the process or that thought process, right? They're like, I don't know what I pay in taxes. It goes to my escrow account. I see it way later. I don't know and I don't remember. Not everybody is paying their tax bill themselves. So they're not, they have that, they don't have the number to multiply by 2.68. And let's face it, human nature being what it is, how many people are going to remember or think and do it? I'll give you credit. You would. I know you would. Maybe other
But you
people here would.
get a report from your escrow every year.
Well, I don't have escrow.
Well, that's if you don't pay. I mean, if you pay
Yeah.
cash,
Mhm.
then you see what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know
But
what?
if you don't, you get an escrow report.
that even says that you look at what your tax bill says about
That's
the
right.
individual components.
And
Most people just look at the absolute amount.
the absolute amount, one. Two, not everybody, it's saying a couple sees their tax bill. Sometimes it goes through one person and the other person, there's a sharing of responsibilities. So sometimes you see it, some other may not, and people don't always talk about those things. You kind of go, okay, we're not
You
broke, we're
can-
fine.
You can, when they're there tonight.
Yep.
You can tell them.
Well, and I think it's important for the board members to be able to tell people they're speaking with. So we need to give them information to
I
do
know.
that.
Tangible, something
Yeah.
tangible.
If
To me,
if
it's
I were writing this, I would start with the the increase for people's taxes is expected to be 2.68%.
Right.
This is based on an increase in the tax levy of, of whatever it is,
point something.
that would be a 4.8 or increase in how much the library is receiving. And then go on to say how much in absolute terms that is. First of all, I don't believe that people read well. I mean, they don't read thoroughly. I think that's part of what's happening with all the information that comes flying at us nowadays.
Mhm.
And so you can't count on them to read beyond that first sentence in there, Paul.
I agree.
It's,
I agree. And then reading and remembering and, with that other number.
and them flying into a rage when they read the first sentence. And
But I don't, yeah, like I said, though, averages are not, I don't think they're that accurate.
but
Um,
it's what we have to give people.
And it's not that, it can't be that off base either. It's not like, well, really, we said $2.98 or $3 and it's 25.70. It's gonna be close within a certain range. Again, for your average, and you have to know whether or not your average is above, below, right on there. And again, it took me a long time before I got to see this. Everything went just Now I see.
And I remember when I was early on the board and I first asked you, well, why is there a difference between how much our tax levy is increasing and what people pay as far as the increase in their taxes? And you didn't know, so, and you're probably more savvy than the, average person. You're an
That's-
accountant.
Why we found out that, the property values have gone up,
Yeah,
and
but-
therefore, they estimate that it'll be 2.68% and not 4.6%. I don't know.
So you even retain what the actual numbers are, which I don't.
I think in numbers, that's what I do.
I got 2.68, I can't remember. I said,
But, I think that we do have a scary number there.
Yeah.
And it does make me worry about how people are gonna react.
Well, like I said, I just kind of worry going over the tax rolls and I see, $19 and $45 and $50 really high, $50. And you
Well,
see,
and on-
$600 because it's a gigantic real estate investment.
Or, we have houses going for $1 million here in Toronto.
Yeah.
Which then, do pull the average up. But, and on the tax on, for 2020, are we 2021, for 150,000 is probably about $90 in the library tax.
But at the same time, so many people you see are gonna be at $50, and we're gonna say, well, you can expect your taxes to go up $2.50. That's so, their taxes are gonna go up $1.38.
Well,
I'm
but
just
you
saying.
say, but you don't just say, oh, your taxes are going up to
It's average.
250, you say that on the average house price of
Yeah, but that's
150,000.
what they hear.
Well,
Well, it's better than hearing
better they
4
hear
point
that.
something.
Yeah, better they hear that.
Anyway,
know,
okay.
I
Well,
heard 4 point something, I would like freeze, just freeze.
Yeah, I mean, there was misinformation flying around last year that we were raising, I don't know, raising taxes 15% or something.
Yeah.
It was,
We're giving away free navigator cards. That was my favorite.
so anyway, it's time for us to move on to the board meeting. The first thing on the agenda is public comment. Would you like to join us, Kirsten?
Do you have agendas printed out or?
Oh, yes, sorry, you sat too far right.
I apologize.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
You wanna?
there's another chair there.
I did take a shower.
No phones being
Yeah,
pushed
hi there,
in
the
with
whole
us
nine
all?
yards. Hi, good, how are you?
Keith, you're the only member of the public. Any comments?
Proceed, please.
Keith, what's your last name?
Slupski,
Can you spell that for me?
Slupski. Sierra Lima Union Papa Sierra Kilo India.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And if you question whether you got it, you can look it up on the website because he's one of the candidates.
Oh,
That's
And
listed.
we have his biography.
Oh, great.
We have all the biography.
Okay, so the next item is the treasurer's report and approval of expenditures. And since I'm filling in for the treasurer, the finance committee had recommended approval of the expenditures. I guess that's the motion. Is there a second? Kirsten seconds. All in favor? Abstentions? Against? Motion carries unanimously. The next item is the consent agenda. Does anyone want to request that an item be removed from the consent agenda?
So we don't have an administrative committee report, right? We have your UHLS report though. And
No president.
No president report.
So not hearing that anything should be removed. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jerry,
I'm sorry.
Jerry was first.
Yes.
And so, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. The first item on the regular agenda is the historic structures report.
I can report that we have reviewed drawings that we submitted for some proposed programming change perhaps. The drawings were shared out with the president, the vice president, and the director. And I would ask if there are any review or comments to those drawings that were sent out.
I put the drawings on the website, or the board Dropbox too, so has everybody been able to access them?
Nope. Not, I even tried putting it in the address line and that didn't work. If we have opened it, is it now downloaded so we'll,
Yes, I believe it's downloaded to Dropbox.
Well, but you would send out the transfer
Yes,
to people. Is that what you're trying to access, or the Dropbox?
I did both.
And you couldn't get it out of it?
I got the transfer, but that link was gone by September 13th.
so I we resent it again.
Oh, sent again after the first time it did,
Well,
the
that's
second
where-
time.
That's where Maria then downloaded to the Dropbox.
And I thought I sent out an email saying.
You
You did,
You did.
but I tried using here's the link to the Dropbox and that did not work.
Oh, I didn't provide a link, I don't think.
You said you can use this to get into the Dropbox. I thought
No,
it was
it
linked.
said it was on the,
I said that it was on the
Oh.
board Dropbox
Okay.
in a certain place.
Yeah.
Probably
under
building
the building
committee,
committee.
and maybe a historic structure report under that.
So no comments then on the drawings that were submitted and uploaded. I did speak with Larry Wilson, Mrs. Wilson from Baker. And he did say that he has got the final report on his desk. He's doing final review on it. And we will receive it by next Tuesday. So within a week from today, we'll be getting the final draft report. So you'll be able to see the entire thing from beginning to end, not just portions of it. And we'll be able to review that and comment on that as well.
So I know that there were some comments on things people would prefer to see. So how will that work with the final report?
So I think that's the comments we talked about previously are beyond the scope of the historic structures report request. So I think the committee is not ready to make a recommendation to the board yet. And I think that the historic structures report and next actions may be separate things. That may be, there may be recommendations on the report, there may be additional steps that are beyond that. So we'll have more, I think next month after the building committee meets again, we hear whatever next steps people are interested in exploring and understanding better.
I noticed when I read the building committee report that at the next building committee, you're asking for people to suggest alternatives to remaining in this building.
If that's what people want to do, yes, that's,
And I was wondering what you want in conjunction with that. So do you want how much that might cost, how much the alternative might cost? Do you,
I don't know, if people have that information, that'd be great to know. I'm not sure that people would have that, but I certainly would want to understand what people are interested in exploring so we can develop that information if we don't have it. I wouldn't expect non-professionals to be able to say, I want to move to someplace and it'll cost this much. I wouldn't expect us as lay people to be able to make that assessment in a month. However, I do want to hear something specific that can be developed, if that's something people seriously want to develop. And then I think we as a committee need to discuss then what to bring forward to the board. So,
But in case board members, Brianna, you're on the building committee, aren't you? Oh, you're not. Okay. In case some of the buildings, some of the board members
you're
that
welcome.
aren't on the building committee had ideas that they wanted, should they send those to you, Kirsten?
They could.
You know, they may not, I know that they're
I
always.
would encourage them to come to the committee themselves,
And-
and
Right,
if they feel
but
strongly about it, then I would encourage them to participate.
if they're
I
not
don't-
able to do so, then
then they need to
you'd
think
still
of their
prefer to hear
life.
from them, right?
I'm sorry?
If they're not able to attend the building committee, you'd still prefer to hear what they have to say?
This is not for the minutes, by the way. I'm thinking extemporaneous, if I may.
We all, the rest of us have to be on.
Well,
He said it, so.
yeah, so then the question becomes, why do we open that up? Is it just the board that can vote, or or chime in, or do we open it to the entire public? Do we open it to, I think we need to be very specific, I think in order to move forward, we need to have a focused approach to this here, and I am not looking to do a complete wide open fishing expedition. If people feel strongly about it,
Come to
I want to
me.
hear about it.
So if something was suggested to a board member by a member of the public, you wouldn't want them to pass it
Oh,
on?
no. If someone passes something on to a board member and the board member thinks that's a great idea, we should do that, they should come forward with that idea. Absolutely.
Or perhaps he
But-
just wants to
I also
make
said
make
I'm-
sure it's heard as an idea. Maybe they just want to make sure it's heard as an idea.
Well, the thing I'm saying is that I've also asked
But we-
people to limit 1 or 2 suggestions. I don't want people to come with 20 suggestions. I want to hear your 2 best suggestions.
Okay.
If we ever want to do anything, we need to focus our efforts. It's my personal opinion.
Where will we be putting this out, this statement, that if anybody has any thoughts? Where are people gonna see that?
At our next building committee meeting.
So you're just talking about the board? Okay, you're not talking about, because who else would see it?
I am talking about board members, yes. And Paul, of course.
Right.
And staff?
Paul speaks for staff.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Thank you.
Anything else on the historic structure report?
That's it.
So Paul, how large is the library? How many square feet? of
This
Space
building?
do we have?
Useful 22,000.
Thank you. Okay, next item, Sunday hours. Do you want to speak to that, Paul?
I can, yes. Normally after Labor Day, we go back to offering Sunday hours. However, this particular year, there's a couple of reasons to hold off on that. First of all, we're still a little short on staff, and we still got some fairly rapid turnover. There's a couple more I expect. We're filling those positions as we go, but we also involves training. And
All that may be the pizza.
It is 5:45.
Yep.
What would we do without you, Joy?
Very true.
Anyway, so part of it is labor issue. What is this?
Who's speaking to the safety plan? Is that Paul too?
Let me stop.
Yeah.
See it all ties in.
And the other reason is probably we may not want to add more hours at this point, given the situation with COVID. So it sort of becomes a factor. We already are at full hours normally without the Sunday hours. We're required to have our main library open 55 hours a week, which we are.
Even without the Sunday?
So we do qualify, you know, under the regulation, although the regulations have been somewhat altered in that they used to be hard and fast. Now, for the rest of the year, they're suggested. I think from what I've seen, and it's sometimes difficult to tell because libraries don't update their.
I think the pizza guy might be waiting for you outside, Paul, or did he?
Oh, no, oh, no,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. Hold
Okay,
on
he
one
may be
second.
right outside the door.
He is.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need assistance? You need help?
No, I got it. No problem. I'm sorry.
I hope you
No, we
resume the
can.
meeting, the minutes, by recording my comments there.
What?
I hope you resumed recording my comments at some point.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good, good.
yeah. No, but I'll add it in right now.
Okay.
Just that individuals with ideas should come to the meeting. Board members with ideas.
Ideas should be shared in person. If you don't want to do it, thank you.
There's no reason for you to apologize.
Thanks, Joy. I forgot all about, they were supposed to call.
No problem.
So with those things in mind, I'm suggesting that we not reinstate Sunday hours, probably the rest of the year until 2022.
Any discussion on that?
Well, Sunday was always our lowest census anyways here, right?
That's why?
Sunday was always, wasn't Sunday our lowest census day ongoing to begin with? And
Well, it's low, it's lower, it's been low, but we've been pretty low.
in
all
general,
along.
well, I'm just saying, if that was our lowest day and everything is lower, I see why strain the staff and the library for
Well,
Sunday
yeah.
hours at this point in time.
Sort of straining a staff, some of which we don't have.
So
But I think right now, like I said before, it's difficult to judge because then not everybody is updating that chart, but we probably have more hours than almost anybody out there
Yeah.
right now. So,
Gilderland is they had, of course, their rehab, but they're only gonna start slight browsing, September 27th.
Yeah, see,
There's no problem. Some libraries are still very, very, very.
So you're saying they have no hours?
They have hours, but not for public browsing. It's pick up, delivery, there are other ways they can serve the public, but public browsing,
Not coming in.
not till September.
With,
Again, they had some, a lot of remodeling, but
yeah, with some slight modifications, we're on stage 4 of our reopening plan, which means back to normal hours in both locations. And then open to the public. Now, we did suggest that we could do public meetings in both locations. Partly that's on hold since we're not scheduling programs around that yet. But we are doing some public gathering at this stage. So it's,
Have we moved on to the safety plan agenda item, or are we still on the?
well,
Sunday hours.
we could anyway, yeah,
Well,
because it's
I'd
sort
like
of
to conclude
related.
the Sunday hours before moving on. Does anybody have any?
Seems prudent in time.
I'm a little concerned that we're making a decision for the rest of the year. Can we say that we can reconsider?
Oh, yeah.
Should the
I'm just suggesting that
The possibility
for,
arise.
yeah, for the time being, I think if we, get up to speed with staff and get people trained and stuff, yeah, it should be reconsidered.
Any more discussion? Is there a motion? Jerry, so moved. What do you know?
That we had concluded with the Sunday hours discussion.
Well, no, you're moving that it be approved to be closed on Sunday
Okay. That we approved being closed
through the rest of the year.
or until further
until further notice.
discussion.
Well, that means it could go beyond
Well,
the end of the year.
why don't we say we revisit it as the circumstances change? And we don't have to put a time limit on.
I think Maria's hoping to get a sunset here that we will.
At least
Make this.
at least be reconsidered, at a certain time rather than be open-ended.
That's not what I said. That's it. Anyway, I'm not moving anymore. Go ahead.
What about
I'll
you
second this.
move to not presently have Sunday hours and leave with room for reconsideration and the plan to resume in 2022 regardless.
Within Sunday hours and 20.
Yeah.
At the start of January.
If you say regardless and things really go crazy,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't
No,
know.
you're right.
Or not, and be reconsidered at the latest
Mhm.
by.
Well said.
Well done.
But we can consider it at any time, right?
Yeah, right.
Not the latest. So we can include the date of the-
So, did you rescind your move?
Yes, somebody else can move.
I so moved,
Okay.
whatever Brianna has.
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so second, how's that?
Evelyn seconds. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nay votes? Motion carries unanimously. The next item is the safety reopening plan. He said we're on stage 4 of the,
Right, phase 4, which means normal operating hours at both locations, open to the public, browsing. I'm sorry, I didn't actually see that we wanted copies, so I have a copy, but.
Well, I can make copies of it on the Xerox machine.
Well, it's
I
not
mean,
just, it's not just one thing.
Kirsten asked for it.
There's actually this original safety plan. And then there's a revision and redefinition here. So that came out about halfway through. And then addendum. Anyway,
It's a living document.
but the original overall plan is, which is sort of basically an outline. This is phase 4, return to regular hours. Both locations return to regular hours. Now this says in phase 4, no adult and children's programming, but we did discuss that in a meeting and change that to allow some. And that includes the meeting room use. The restrooms are open. And then staff and patrons continue to follow CDC guidelines, which would be masks and social distancing, basically. So that's the original plan. You know, and that's where we are now. Phase 5. Actually, it's sort of a combination of 4 and 5 right now with library programs to resume. The thing is that we're not scheduling these programs. The adult services and children's people are not actually scheduling the regular programs at this point. So we didn't really, we didn't say that. But again, it's a matter of you know, keeping your eyes on the statistics and watching what's going on. Right now, if you'll notice, Rensselaer County is pretty stable in terms of new infections, ranging somewhere between 4 and 5%. But that's been stable for quite a while. So we're hoping that that stays about the same. And then, of course, phase 6 was full operation and everything back to normal, but we aren't quite there yet.
And I have to, just to interject that, just to clarify, programming is being scheduled. I mean, there are, like, Voice America's back, short story, that's new. So there is programming being done. It's just not
There's what?
programming. We're still scheduling programming, but it could be virtual.
Yeah, most of it, well, yeah, all of it's virtual.
I know, but to say we're not, scheduling programming
Oh,
implies that we're not
right.
doing anything. I'm sorry.
No, we are, a matter of fact, we have our book clubs. I don't know how many we have. We have a lot of book clubs.
Yeah, we do.
It's funny because whenever we do a survey and Carolyn surveys people, and say, what kind of programs do you want? I'm book clubs. So that's why we have a lot of it.
They had some other things like the puppet show out in the.
Yeah, we did that.
Safety
Again,
park.
that was an outside. As a matter of fact, Young People's was looking for outside stuff. I mean, what can we do outside? The last story walk was scheduled for the riverfront. Perfect place. They finished the project, they finished the seawall, we could do it. The city is just,
They're still not, they're driving.
the last word was, we don't know what's down there. We don't know, all we have to do is put a little hole in the ground. to put the signs up. But we don't know what's there. How can you not know what's there?
Whom are you speaking with?
Oh, that was somebody at Public
Planning?
Works.
Public Works?
So I told Carol to contact Monica again. Monica was very enthusiastic
Yeah, she
about
was.
it, and she was about the location. But she's the one that maybe has to twist some arms over there. Anyway,
What kind of program?
but that's,
What are we gonna do with the river contract?
with that,
What program are we going to do with the river contract?
that's a story walk.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So they would be permanent.
Yeah, well,
So
they're there for a while.
Yeah.
You know. But it's difficult, you know, to do outdoor programs, obviously, in this area. So, you know, it's hard to schedule because there's always gonna be, then there's a rain date, and then, oh, you're gonna bring everybody inside, and, you know. But we're working with it.
So Evelyn, since you're the safety reopening plan officer or whatever, do you have anything further?
Liaison? Do I have a,
Did you have anything further
I think,
on this?
I think that plan works. I think Larry, we're going, is working, and if not, we can always pull back. Or go forward.
So we don't need a vote on this, right, Paul? We're just informing.
We-
Yeah,
We'll vote, if anything, we'll make a motion to acknowledge that we have been apprised of the current, let me get this phrase right, reopening, safety reopening plan. Okay? And
Is
that's
that a
actually-
motion?
That's my motion.
Is there a second? Thank you, Kirsten. All in favor? Against? 0. Abstention 0. Motion carries unanimously. Director's report.
mostly construction. The Upper Hudson Board approved the 2022 grant for that 20-foot parapet section in the northwest corner, along with some other work with on the cornice. It was approved for 160,000, 164.74, which is, according to Kim, 68.3% rather than 75%. So we didn't get the full 75%. The total amount of that project is, according to Debrino's estimate, 234,941. So I think at this point, Tim had asked if we can go ahead with that. And I said, we probably better. Since it's a safety issue and it's sort of something that needs to be done sooner rather than later.
So when you say go ahead, that means going ahead and making commitments for the project?
Well, it
Even
means,
though we
it
haven't
means that
received
they're
the money
going to
from Jasmine?
submit that to the state.
Oh. Okay. So,
Libraries back out all along the path, but, you know, this is something that they need to know whether we want to go ahead with it at that rate. So I said at this point, yes. I don't think we want to back out of that. The 2021 Public Library Construction Grant we have the final approval on that. So, and that's for a full 75% of the project. We'll be receiving 71,363, which is our full ask. And this is the project with the kitchen floor, and also the draining pipes and so on in the reading room, the four roof drains to be insulated, and then repairs to the plaster. And that is been finalized by New York State. And that, what it means is New York State informed legislators that here was, the grants were approved. So we know that we're gonna receive the money. That's what that means.
Thank you.
It's a little complicated. What we get is 90% of that 71,000.
We're getting 90%?
90%, yeah. And then we get 10% when it's
Oh,
finished.
I see, okay.
So it's not a reimbursable, it's you get 90% of the money up front, which is nice. I know there's always been questions about the 90%, so I put this in.
I appreciate that.
And that's where that is. And the only staff news was Jessica Hoffman as the librarian one is leaving us. And we're looking to fill her position. Sure, her last day is September 24th.
She went to another library, left the industry.
What's that?
Yeah, she's going to be a librarian remotely, in a more academic setting, which is where she really wants to be.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand.
Thank you.
She's been running that.
I think part of it is so she can completely work from home. But that's just,
Well, she wants to work in the academic libraries.
anyway.
That's her career goal.
So let's go back and talk about some of these projects.
Okay.
So for the recent one, the 2021, our share of that's going to be about $25,000. And that's just approximately.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
You
a
said the
problem.
most recent one.
The 2021,
That's not the most recent one. 2022 is the most recent. Or
Are you
I
talking
no,
about?
I'm talking the one we've actually,
received.
right, so, okay, but 2021, I can refer to it now. So the 2021 was about 70,000 that they're going to be giving us, so that means about 25,000
Yeah, we'll be
is our
on the
share.
hook for about 25.
Okay, and then for the other one, the 2022, that's about another 60,000,
Yeah, well,
assuming that that's
Okay.
all the cost, unless we get further funding.
Well, with the 2021.
yeah, that's actually about 75,000.
Is it about 75?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I
our
know,
our
okay.
share would be 75,000.
Hmm?
Are you saying our share for 2022 would be about 75,000?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
The 2021, we weren't originally fully funded. But when one of the first waves of return money came to Upper Hudson, Troy and I forget which other library were the first to become fully funded. And there's been 4 returns of monies to Upper Hudson. So now every library who made that request in that cycle is fully funded
That changed during
this last year. So it is, like we said, if you look at the Upper Hudson report, the saga will continue. There's no guarantee, but it could happen.
Yeah, one thing you have to remember is this could change in a couple of ways. This is an estimate provided by a single contractor. When you go out to bid, we don't know what's going to happen. We hope that it's close, but could be different. And the other thing, yeah, the other part of there's been a lot of money lately turned back from other libraries. So this may be something that works for the 2022 grant as well. So the exact amounts fluctuate. But that's basically what you're up against.
It, I think the grant was originally for 20 linear feet of the cornice.
What's that?
I think the original application or the estimate based on 20 feet of that cornice.
Yeah,
If we were to only do 10 feet of that cornice, would we get pushback from any of the grantees?
well, we have to spend the money.
Yeah, yes, I
Yeah.
understand, but I mean, in
Okay,
order,
so we gotta spend 234,000. Yeah, if it comes way over, can we modify the project? Problem with that is that particular section, the whole thing is leaning forward.
I'm not doubting it is done. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if we could.
You can modify things to come in closer, yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to understand.
Matter of fact, we're doing that right now. I'm negotiating with Roush Brothers for that cupola over in Lansing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm trying to establish is what our exposure is as far as our contribution. So for the 2021 project, it's about 25,000. And you said for the 2022 project, as best as we can tell, unless the price increases or something else happens, Paul is saying 75,000. So that's that's 100,000. I expect that we'll be able to get 25,000 as usual from the foundation. And we'll
This
assume
year.
for this year, and I assume for next year, we could, our best guess is what to expect would be 25,000 again. So, the first 25,000 could go for the 2021 and then the 25,000 from 2022, because we know it's probably going to take a little while. Maybe because of the urgency, it would get done faster. But we could put 25,000 from them in 2022 toward it, which leaves us at 50,000, which means probably have to dip into the bequest, right?
I think
Any other source?
I think at some point, you're gonna have to do something with the bequest. I mean, I don't know how much, but
Because we'll get grief from the state controller's office.
yeah, we're just gonna run out. I mean, with these projects. So, yeah, I don't see any other way out right now. I don't see any. Unless
So,
we really go do a major fundraiser, and that's a lot of work.
yeah, and the parapet isn't that grabbing a project.
No, it's our
No.
projects, it
You
was,
better do this or it'll fall on you. I mean, I just like,
I think there could be, I think let's revisit that. Yeah, I think we could, there may be opportunities, and I think we may feel upon people who would be passionate about the parapet.
I think it's how you market it.
well, but still, if there's extra funding to be gotten from other sources, that's great. But sort of looking at the worst case scenario, are we willing to move ahead considering that it may take an additional 50,000 beyond what we're projecting coming in toward it? Is it?
Well, do we have a choice?
Right, it wouldn't be a good idea, but I just think we should be aware of what we're taking on and doing this, not just go in with our eyes closed.
And I think that also helps to motivate us to find other sources to replenish
By recognizing that we'll be we'll be needing additional funds.
and so I can understand timeline a little more clearly, you would anticipate that those funds will be needed sometime in 2022. Spring, fall, summer, do you have any idea when that might be?
My goodness, this just went to this is just going to state, actually not till October 1st. I mean, theoretically, we usually heard in March, but that doesn't work anymore. So let's see, 2022, we'll be lucky to hear in 2023.
So,
But there's urgency involved in this.
Hmm?
But there's more urgency involved in this than there are, because yes, it has taken a long time
Yeah,
to get projects actually completed, but there's, this is, how long can we expect it to be stable with what has been done to it?
well, we did, like I said, we did take down the piece that was about to fall.
Okay, so it
Now, as far as we know from examination, there's no other part of the cornice that's about to give way. And they were up there, I mean, So, I mean, it's just that you can't leave that project very long. I mean,
I'm just trying to understand the cash flow when we might anticipate we raise this additional $50,000.
yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the fact that the state's gonna be slow, which it is. But, no, you can't wait 10 years.
But we anticipate that the grant monies will come available first, and any funds from the foundation will come second, and then we'll have to backfill. So we're not anticipating we would need the $50,000 in July of 2022. We think if I need it towards the end of
Yeah,
the
because you also have 3 years to complete the project.
Right, so
So,
we've got some time to work
yeah,
on
you can
the
stall.
campaign.
Joy, I'm running low. My battery? Hello?
Yep, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Joy, the battery says it's low.
Do you want to move the computer to the printer section and then you can plug it in if you want?
I guess, I don't know how
or
much more.
is it
we need.
important for Joy to stay on?
I mean, I'm recording it. I don't know if you guys want me to keep recording.
Not too much.
Well, I can plug it in, I guess. Available.
Spot here to plug in if it's in cord.
Yeah, it's one down there. You got it?
I think so.
Yeah. Good luck with that. It's a little tricky.
Better than I. I mean,
Yay. Thanks. I hate you. Hello, Joy.
Okay. For that discussion. Observations of the feedback? I have some. A friend used the bathroom and walked out and said to me, boy, you should tell us that they keep the bathroom really clean. He was impressed.
cool.
On the other side of things, we had people who called about the tour who were identical that wasn't a library event. What's called about what? About the tour, the tour of the library that's promoted under the Hudson River Valley Ramble.
Okay.
And gives the library number to call for information. And this has been a problem in the past as well. We thought we corrected for this year. How about under old business, new business? Yes,
Do you want to, or should I?
What's that?
Nominating committee. We'll have to set up a nominating committee
Yeah.
sometime after the election and before the October board meeting. So at least this is a good time to see who wants to be, is in October, we'll have our organizational meeting, to select officers again, and we do that. Committees?
That is an organization meeting.
Yes. So the question is who wants to be on the nominating committee?
What happens on the nominating committee?
So
What happens on the nominating?
we
committee?
nominate someone for four officers.
Okay,
Nominations can be taken from before the day of the meeting in October, but there is a slate that is offered to the board.
And does it require a certain period of public notice before the nominating committee meets?
No.
Could we have a nominating committee right here, right now?
We have to wait till after the
Ah,
election.
okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, kind of like a pro forma thing. We wait till after the election, but before.
because you never know whether somebody who's running from the current board is going to be reelected.
Okay,
Yeah, even this year's case.
and it can be at a meeting, it's not a separate meeting,
Well, you mean like during the, no, it has to be a separate meeting.
but can it be at the next board meeting in October?
No, because at the board meeting, we'll go right into the nominations of the organization. So it needs to be done beforehand.
Can it be in conjunction with another meeting?
Probably that's not true.
Okay.
So
you're trying, so.
I know you have to do, but sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, I'm just thinking what's,
Yeah, I know.
I don't
You're
want
trying to
to,
be expeditious.
and I don't want to
Yeah.
overcommit, and,
So do we need the names of nominees by the next board meeting? Yeah. Maybe not.
Well, we need to come up with who wants to be on the committee, and after September 28th, we'll set a date to meet, come up with a slate, and then that's presented on October, second Tuesday in October.
Do we need a quorum on the committee?
I don't think that's in their bylaws, it's just nominating committee. It's a rather ad hoc committee.
Here's that.
And if
Meet
they-
twice a year.
But you're saying we need to have our candidates by October, by the
For the
October.
Yes.
October meeting?
so,
So
so,
the nominating committee has to meet
Between
after the election, but before the
I know
meeting.
that, but we have to have our proposed candidates by the October meeting. Is that what we're
That is
saying?
correct.
That's because we elect
The
them at that meeting,
You like who?
the officers of the board.
Oh, okay, we're not talking about the new board.
No, we're talking about
Okay,
the.
President, vice president, secretary, treasurer.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about nominating new board members.
No. Those people, that's why we waited until after the public election. Don't get our pluses.
Could we meet half an hour before the next finance committee meeting?
I guess.
okay, I thought that was not allowed.
It's not
Separate
preferred,
meeting.
but
Separate meeting.
it is a separate meeting.
I don't know how many people can.
I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I'm done, unless it was virtual. Done at 4:30. But I don't need to be on the committee.
Well, I
I'm
just,
thrilled to not be on.
and I don't know who wants to be on the committee. So,
Surprise!
Everyone wants to be on the committee. Jerry, now, do you want to be on the committee?
I'm okay to not be.
No, but do you want to be? Because then
Because you want to get out.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You're trying to be diplomatic and say, we
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
You don't want to be either?
No, thank you. I mean, if it's something that needs to be done and no one else wants to do it, I would find a way to do it as a committee of one.
Yeah.
But if everyone is willing to take it on, go for it.
Well, it would be nice to have at least one other person. It's just-
Well, I'll be on, because I'm supposed to be on present. I'm supposed to be present at the committee so you and I can
Pass it down.
determine the time or we do it then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any more, oh, Jared, the administration committee, the concern about the staff request. Can we have an update on that?
I thought we were going to do an update on that, but yes, okay, so I have a call into the retirement system. And I will follow up on
Okay, thank you. Any other old business? Hearing none, any public comment?
None.
The date of the next meeting is October 12th, pretty early. And I never know whether we need the motion to adjourn, I've heard both ways.
If you can't wait, and if you don't, follow up.
I'm making a motion to adjourn. Second by Kirsten, all in favor?
Hi.
Motion carries unanimously.
That's it, Joy.
Have a
Bye,
great-
Joy.
Thank
Bye,
you, Joy.
Sure, have a great night.
You too.
Okay.
Are we meeting upstairs?